Mini Matters, a miniature painting podcast.
Booyakasha! I think I nailed that intro on the timing of the record, but like when I hit did I hit record? Yeah. When I hit record and when I clicked the audio. Welcome everyone, episode 5, Arnau.
Yeah, hello.
Martin.
Hello.
And myself, Jamie Hutber. I gave more importance, I subconsciously added my surname there to make me seem more important than these two guys, which is interesting, I think. I didn't introduce you with your surnames. I belittled you in a way.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I rather prefer my name, yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with first names.
Yeah.
We don't want to end up in like a kind of sports team situation where we're just the last name.
Well, I actually commonly coin myself Hutber. In fact, my website is Hutber.
That's up to you.
Yeah,
I know.
that's true.
We're
That is true.
not doing that.
Unless I keep doing it. So we have a bloody good show planned, actually. Bloody good show. So what you don't know is we in the week, right? I message Arnau and we're like, look, we need to plan the episode. And Arnau's like, look, I just want to turn up. I'm not fucking fussed. And I'm like, whoa, Arnau.
Verbatim, that's no.
Yeah,
exactly
and I'm like,
that.
can we just please just spend a little bit of time planning the show? And he's like, look, Jay, too much to do. It's beneath me, he says. And it's tough. It's tough running the show by myself, I'll be honest. But yeah.
I hope someday people learn to understand Jamie.
It's convincing though, I hope. I don't want to admit
I'm not going to contradict you.
Yeah.
The stuff that you make up, the stuff that you make up about Arnau, it's not like it's not things that no person would do. So it's not obviously made up.
That's why it's
the last few days I made the decision that it's changing our relationship and my life, which is I'm not going to contradict anything that Jamie says.
I think that's healthy.
I don't think that. I think that's a terrible idea. I think you're going to get in hot water. So basically, I guess, you know...
We already are. We already are.
I guess this is, you're alluding to, Arnau and I had a rather entertaining misjudgment in... So, I don't know how to... For weeks, Arnau and I were on a different page, okay? And this isn't about the podcast. It's about a piece of artwork that Mr. Arnau Latharoth bought, okay? And he bought a piece of artwork from an artist, right? And he shared a message in a WhatsApp group, me, Albert, and Arnau. And he was like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna get in this piece of artwork." And I was like, "Oh, fuck!" And he was like, "From Karl Kopinski, right? The legend, the myth." And I was like, "Oh, crap! From Tara, right?" And he said, "No, from a pirate."
No, you didn't. You.
Right?
That's not how it went. You're changing it. Let me.
I'll finish mine quickly then, right?
Okay.
And then
So
you can come in with
two full versions of the whole story then.
So I was like, okay, so he's buying it from some dodgy guy, and I was like, do you really? Is it safe to buy from him? And Arnau was like, it's fine, and I was like, I don't know if that's true, but all right, fine. And I was like, you sure it's not from Tara? It's like he was like, no, it's some Greek like pirate guy. Like it's not a big deal. And I was like, yeah, that's annoying because I quite wanted to buy some more artwork. I haven't got any money really, but you know, if there's a cheeky Eldar artwork, I'm gonna. So, but he was like, it's a pirate. I was like, yeah, I don't really want to risk. And he hasn't got any other work because he's only got these pieces of work, right? These like 3 pieces or whatever it was, 1 piece. So that was it. And then like every week would go by, and I'd keep asking Arnau. I'd be like, is it from Tara, right? And he'd just completely ignore it until. Okay, well that's the story, and then we can get to how we unravelled what went wrong. And now this is Arnau's side of it, I guess.
You know what's scary is that I'm sure that in your head that's real. That's more or less what happened.
It's not a lie. It's just delusion. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, this is not my fault on this one. I think you hold because he didn't respond. Anyway, go on. You give yours, Arnau. You give yours.
So I said that I wanted to buy the artwork, and then you said, "Is that Tara?" And I said, "No, I think that's a pirate," because I was joking, joking like you are saying that the pirate is Tara. And
we should allude to the fact actually that the artwork is a pirate. Okay.
The artwork is a pirate.
Now I didn't realize it was a pirate. And also he
It
said,
doesn't matter.
okay.
Well, it does matter a little bit, but it's
I
clearly
feel like
obvious
it's
a
important.
pirate. Like, there's nothing else he could be.
We'll share the
I have seen
artwork
it
in
myself.
the.
It's a pirate.
Have you seen it now, Martin?
I have seen it, in fact.
Huh.
It is a pirate. There's absolutely no doubt about it. And then I said, no, I think it's a pirate. I think Kopinski can do better or something like that. Or no.
No.
I'm sure
He
Kopinski's
literally
wife
just goes, it's
is
from
nicer.
a pirate. It's a pirate is
I
shipping it to you or
didn't say
something like
that.
that. He's
It's made by a pirate.
I literally think you said I said, is it Tara? And you said a pirate or something. I don't think you said it's a pirate.
Literally, I mean, look, I could read it to you. I actually
no, because
because
we can't do. We're learning from last week. We don't want to do stuff that. I suppose you could look it up while I talk. Martin, have you worked out what's gone on yet?
No, definitely not. I'm hoping that our listeners are enjoying this this
segment.
spinning of a yarn. Yeah, this segment.
Yes.
So what is the word here? Tara? What is that?
Tara.
What are you talking about?
Tara. Okay, I'll sum it up because you might be right. This might be.
Is it a person or a miniature?
It's a person. Now, this person sells artwork for Kopinski. It happens to just be his wife, basically. A really, really nice.
Tara
I've been talking to her
okay.
for like 6 years, 7 years or something, right?
Yeah.
And Arnau was like, I'm buying from Kopinski. And I was like, oh, from Tara. And then he said, it's a pirate. And I assumed he was buying from a pirate because it made sense. And then I think he sent a link, right?
Yeah.
And the link preview had an old like Greek looking guy. It turns out it's actually one of Kopinski's artworks.
Okay.
Anyway, so I assumed he was buying from the thing. I mean, we've probably not done this as much. It might have been a case if you had to be there to find it funny. But for weeks now, Arnau and I've been like, and I've kept asking him, I'm like, is it from Tara? And he's just ignored it. And it turns out he just thought I was talking about random girls' names.
That's fair. What would you do with the information, James, if it was from Tara? Like, what
I
would
would have
you
just
have
messaged
done?
her and gone, oh, you're back selling, because she wasn't selling for a while.
Oh, okay. So you were curious because you were also in the art in the art buying
potentially.
game. Okay.
Potentially.
Yeah.
I don't know necessarily if I can afford anything. So that is yeah. I guess it was less entertaining than we hoped. But yeah.
No, it's fine. We needed to. So where we are now in the story is how you guys reconcile this misunderstanding. And Arnau also has the receipts.
Yeah, I have the receipts, and I'll give you the full truth of it. So I sent a link. The first thing I did, I know. I was sent the picture of the piece, the pirate guy.
The pirate, right? Which I didn't know was a pirate. Just for the record.
I mean, it has a sword. It has.
As I said,
boots.
I thought it was an Empire bloke.
So I have the text here, and I'll let you judge that, Martin. First thing I said was,
what is Martin trying to judge here? If I'm right or you're right, or there's no right or wrong?
Well,
no, I'm trying to find facts.
The facts.
Yeah. He will decide what the facts are.
There was a Greek pirate.
The facts are you're wrong. No, go on. Sorry.
You were pretty sure that Arnau was buying artwork from a pirate, which makes total sense.
No,
and then you were trying to figure
out. Not a real
pirate.
I thought it was like a colloquialism, like he's explaining that he's buying it from some dodgy bloke, basically.
The best thing is that it's a Greek pirate, and I've never in the conversation ever said the word Greek or nothing related to Greece or anything.
So at some point you said Greek pirate. I got quite stuck on that, if I'm honest. So I think there's definitely something there that we're trying to get to the bottom of. Are there in fact Greek pirates selling Kopinski artwork, or is it just his wife?
Okay. And that's it. I sent the picture of the artwork, and then Jamie said, how did you find it? How much and why?
See? All good questions.
And then I said, Facebook. He is selling now.
Right. Knowing that he doesn't sell, knowing that he would never sell, right? This is key information. She sells. He's already like left me thinking, so he's not buying from Tara. Carry on.
You cannot justify. You cannot. I didn't justify your version. You don't justify mine.
Even in just saying Facebook,
that's true.
You were like, lying motherfucker. Yeah, okay.
So I said the price, etc., and then you said, out of the blue, his wife. But you didn't say anything else before, so you just said his wife,
Right.
and I said nothing. I think it's a pirate, dude. Like, surely his wife is nicer. And then you took that as a serious answer, and you said, I see. I don't know how nice this dude was. Then here, obviously, I start to not understand what's happening, so I just kept going. And I sent the link to Karl Kopinski's page, which I know you didn't check.
It's better than I thought it
And
was,
then-
because I didn't know I had other
and then-
responses.
I said, he's selling those. There's a few I would instantly buy, but I'm touching hobo-ness if I do. And that was
That might have
was
been when
the official
rethink thing
Karl
happened.
Kopinski's Facebook. And then that doesn't matter the next few weeks.
I asked once. I
Jamie-
asked twice between then. I did. I think I even
yeah.
just brought it up in
And
the blue out of the blue.
you're asking at that time was just saying, is it from Tara, his wife?
No, he didn't say Tara. He said, "Is this his wife?"
Okay. All right. Interesting.
And then
and
I
you
said,
said for buying from his wife.
and jokingly, I said, "No, that's a pirate."
Yeah.
And he took it like I was selling it buying it from a Greek pirate dude. What the fuck?
That's totally.
And I understood this like yesterday, I think it was, or 2 days ago.
We had a. Why did it come up again? We had an amusing. Albert literally pissed himself, I think, and it all came about because.
Because I received the artwork.
Aha, yes, and he
And
said
then
a photo
realized-
of the artwork, right?
Yeah, you realized that I was actually buying from.
Well, I
Kopinski.
think I was originally surprised that it actually arrived and you weren't scammed by the pirate, basically, because obviously.
Yeah, of
So,
course.
right, Martin, what you saying?
I mean,
Well, I see where the confusion is, definitely.
no,
Well,
the confusion
you
is
know,
clear,
Yeah.
but
I
he
mean,
filled a lot of gaps.
I will say that the thinking, referring to someone who sells pirated artwork as a pirate is a little far-fetched, but not
I don't
completely
know if I'm laughing
insane.
too loud or if my audio's fucking up, but yes.
I mean, because that's what it is. Someone sells bootleg artwork, and you're like, I got it from a pirate. I would take any opportunity to
true.
refer to anyone in modern times as a pirate.
Yeah, and
If
he
I
literally
could
would be a
reasonably
pirate
call-
stealing
Yeah,
artwork.
he would be an actual pirate. But then the fact that the image was also a pirate, I think, should have sent a little bit of an indication to Jamie that you were not in fact buying pirated artwork or buying it from some dodgy guy out of the back of a van. Also, the fact that you're you and you literally linked to Karl Kopinski's website and Facebook page.
The fact that I linked twice, the link to Karl Kopinski's page, it's an indication. But Jamie told me that he didn't check the link. So
But this happens sometimes. This happens sometimes with people when you have an idea in your head and that idea gets so stuck that all other ideas and suggestions will either just bounce off of that idea, or they'll go like around it or on top of it. But you're still stuck on this. Arnau bought this thing from a dodgy guy out of the back of a van.
Yeah, a Greek
Potentially
pirate,
a Greek person.
And then at 9:03 p.m. on Tuesday, I asked Arnau, but it's from Tara. I was very specific. But it's from Tara. I said, ignored it. 2 days later.
Who the fuck is Tara?
Yeah, but that's a question you ask. Don't just side note it and just be like, well, I don't know who the fuck that is, so I'll just carry on with my life because he's right. And then the next day he actually said it's arrived, right? And then I asked again, who? I'm still confused if Tara did it because I didn't know it was by Carl properly, I guess, or no, or Carl shipped it. Obviously, it's ignored again. Oh no, Arnau wrote what? And then I laughed, being like, what do you mean what? Like, what do you mean what? Like, obviously, I'm asking if it's from Tara, his wife. Right, anyway, we got to the...
Can I just say here? Can I say one thing, though? you just said the word obviously. I think nothing about this entire anecdote is obvious. And you will have noticed in our chat that sometimes I'll just write what, or I'll
Like a normal,
respond to one of your messages and go, huh? Because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and I would like you to clarify.
Well,
I think sometimes it's important to not assume and to not be like, well, I guess he's buying things from pirates again.
it's classic Arnau.
I have.
It is, yeah. I mean, I get that. Freelancer.
Albert did write before Arnau did, by the way, who I was specifically asking. He wrote, "What the fuck are you talking about, Jamie?" Basically. So, and I said I asked ages ago where they are being sold, and Arnau shared and said he just bought it from a random dude online, and he was like, "No, what? And then it unraveled."
The fact that Albert understood everything exactly as it was, and you didn't.
I think you two private message or something like you've had.
Sure.
You're like, oh, by the way, I don't know why you're whispering when you're private messaging, but yeah,
that's how it works.
So that was enjoyable. I enjoyed that segment. Thank you too for.
And all this went because I that came because I made the oath of not contradicting Jamie.
Yeah.
So
that's what you were saying.
Weird
Exactly.
thing
That's where we started, and I think it's a very good philosophy to never contradict Jamie unless you end up in legal troubles, which I think is impending.
Highly possible. Highly possible. Well, you'll have to contradict me on a new segment we have today. It's called Contradicting Jamie. And it's no, not really, but there are two new segments. Okay, so today's episode, going back to the intro, we've got the meat of it, obviously, which is going to be on inspiration for color schemes. I think that's what you two were.
No, inspiration's good headline.
Cool. Then we have news, because obviously I just like to fill in news. You guys could do news, but mine's more important, I guess. Is the new Eldar model? Just a brief conversation on that, not a long one. We've got Dan to Dan updates, obviously. Some feedback said they don't like listening to anything talking about anime because they fucking hate it and they wish it didn't exist, which I think is a little bit extreme, personally. But we are still going to nabber on a little bit about Dan. We've got the release cycle for GW, which has been on the roster now for 3 weeks, and we probably won't get to it because I think the other stuff's better. Rebel Moon, which we can't do now because Arnau's not watched it. Golden Demon, because we're on the road to Golden Demon because it's only a month away, right? Oh, it's 2 months, okay, or a month and a half. Fuck, you guys are struggling. Then we've got the new segment, okay? It's called Grotbusters, and I don't want to give you too much. It's very good. It's really good.
Called Grotbusters. Yeah, buckle up, listeners.
Grotbusters. Then we have the new segment, right? It's called Things I Hate, and it's just a small segment, and I'm just going to give you something that annoys me, basically, and then we can talk about it if we want to. And the Elder Project's nowhere, but I will give you an update on the Elder Project. So that is our. I realised 3 of those are centered around me, and that's fine, as the heart and the soul of the podcast. What I like,
entirely legitimate, yeah.
What I quite like is the concept of someone listening to this for the first time, and they don't know what satire is because they're autistic, and then they'll think Jamie has. So
did you have an end to that sentence? Was that it? You just think might listen. I don't know what satire is, and anyway. Yeah, and for our listeners, if you're wondering what ADHD is like, do you want to go to your list of subjects now?
Well, we've already covered them. So we're on the inspiration, aren't we?
No. I mean, actually go down the subjects.
I've already done it.
Like at least one. At least one. Let's do one.
What subjects? What that I did at school? What do you mean subjects?
Are you actually this confused?
The podcast.
Let's start doing the things that we wanted. Do you want to talk about the things that were on your list of things to talk about?
But I already did. I told everyone what they were. What do you mean? They've heard it.
I mean,
say
I'm not talking about reading the list. I'm talking about doing the things that are on the list to do.
Right.
Jesus.
Right. So yeah, one sec then. Wait for it. Topic of the week. that's of course the jingle for topic of the week, which was superseded by the meat of it. But actually, I wanted to talk about that. Basically, I think I'm going to have to pay for what the hell's it called? The nitro on the server boost, because we've only got 6 audios, so I couldn't do the meat of it audio, which is terrible. I might look at that price. So yeah, that's just a side note. So yes, the meat of it. Oh God, I mean, half an hour in.
My cat just stepped in the palette.
With paint in it.
Yes.
Fucking hell. Did he do this with his foot? The little flick thing?
No, I caught her before that, but yeah,
that's just paint
it annoyed me that part. I hate that.
I'm surprised he hasn't learned, or she. So the meat of it this week is inspiration. Now, we were talking, I wasn't there, but I walked in on you two talking about stealing people's palettes, right? I don't mean the physical palette. You're not pirates, but I, for the longest time, and I'm only keying you two off, and then you can talk about your shit, right? But for the longest time, I felt like I'm almost like learning or cheating by stealing somebody else's inspiration, like a color palette, color. Well, I don't know what to call it. What's it called? It is a palette, right?
Sure, color scheme, colorways,
or
color palette,
scheme, right? Exactly. So I've always felt like if I start or if I go online and do a load of research and steal palettes, then I won't learn how to do it myself, right? And that's why I always avoided it. It felt like using AI before AI was around. So yes, that's my input.
That's an interesting thought, and I've had the same thought actually about coming up with your own shit as opposed to doing what someone else did. And it's kind of weird because I think I would have always said that like it's good to base anything you're doing off of someone else's work. And then I mean this is a whole discussion about like originality and kind of being creative. But I think what me and Arnau were talking about specifically is artwork. So like illustration, basically. I was asking Arnau about the Dante diorama that you did, and like you mentioned that was based off of an artwork. And then another thing that you did was also based off an artwork, and the thing you're working on now is, and it's weird because I've literally like once specifically looked at a piece of art for something I did in the hobby and tried to, if not replicate, then take as much from that, like any kind of questions that I needed to answer, any ideas for conversions and things. And that was a Black Templar squad that I did based on the 3rd edition cover John Blanche artwork. Other than that, I feel like I forget that side of things, but I know other people who will go really far with like I know one thing that Andy Wardle does that's really good is like get the photo out in Photoshop or the illustration and use a pipette to pick out the exact tones, and you can really see like how they work together and try to translate that onto your wet palette. It makes a lot of sense, and I need to maybe get better at being that kind of methodic with it.
Yeah, for me, it's not that I have to think to go to search for artwork. Is that it just inspires me to do stuff. So it's actually the root of my journey, right? I see something that motivates me and I want to do something with it, and I just translate it to figure, or just adapt it, or just get inspired a little bit by it. But I think for me the first thing is finding something that motivates me. So obviously sometimes if I have a commission, then I will go Pinterest and search for a lot of artworks that fit my idea or something, and then I will get inspiration from it. And I understand what you said, Jamie, about wanting to come up with your own stuff. But I think that this comes from a wrong place, which is wanting to be unique or important and somehow. But there's a lot of people that's better than you and that has been doing this for a very long time, and who were better to search for a learning experience than because it's not like you are copying line by line. You are absorbing stuff and you are absorbing colors and translating it in your head, because you are not literally copying a drawing, right? So you have to do a lot in your head to translate an image to a 3D, and it's absolutely the best learning experience you'll ever have doing things like this. Obviously, the more exact you adapt it, the less you process, but still, it's very important. So yeah, I think you cannot create by yourself if you do not have a lot of experience, and all artists take inspiration from all other artists, all of them.
I think there's something to be said for like having somewhere to start, having a foundation to stand on. And I think copying someone else, because this is I was talking to a friend about this yesterday. It's kind of like if you look at music, no one really that kind of goes anywhere will start off just playing random notes and then eventually stringing them together into something that sounds good. You will start by playing someone else's songs. Like that's definitely how most people get started, whether it's piano, guitar, drums, whatever. You're going to play something that someone else has done or created sort of for you. And I think even there, it's really easy to see the progression from playing someone else's thing and then sort of coming up with little variants of that. Or if you've only played tons of blues, you're going to start to come up with your own kinds of blues licks. And then the more you're exposed to, the more ideas you'll have. And eventually you might get really, really creative. And sure, I think there is in some people a kind of talent, a predisposition for that stuff. But it's really useful, I think, to look at other brands of creativity and translate that to our hobby, if that's what we're talking about. Because that sort of explains things for me, for myself, and especially stuff like this, like the equivalent of that would be basically like copy someone else's paint job. Maybe don't copy like one of Arnau's pieces for Golden Demon and then turn it into Golden Demon, but doing exactly the same thing as someone else has done is not the worst idea, because you're probably going to go through the method of creating it, that process. But best case, you'll start to understand why things look the way they do and why that method looks the way it does. Because I think that's always the biggest thing for me, is like, it's not just how to do it and what to do, but why.
And the
So
most
why
important is that you will realize so many things that you didn't realize at the first glance. Like when we see an artwork, we focus on some things and some other things, and mostly the things that we don't understand, we just erase. Like we don't even see them. But when you have to copy, you have to understand everything, the things that you already understand and the things that you don't. And
Exactly.
because you have to do that effort of processing the things that you don't understand, that's where the difficulty comes from. Because if the person who did the artwork knows more than you will have to raise your level to even start comprehending, no, understanding the what they did. So just for that, I think it's great. And I don't have fun copying other people's figures, obviously, because they already did that. So why would I do the same, right?
Sure.
But not even copying, adapting or getting inspired by artworks that are another medium, which is 2D. It's fun because you have a lot of challenges in the middle. In composition, usually 2D are a bit more forgiving with space, and 3D is not forgiving at all with space. So things like that are fun and useful.
Do you do it because copying a 3D is going to give you less, like you're talking about copying artwork, but you're talking about specifically 2D into 3D, or it's not so important?
Yeah. But I'm not even saying copying. Like, I know you may be not using the word copying as copying, but I don't even. when I paint, I never have something in front of me. What my process is when I look for an artwork, I try to understand the artwork. I absorb what the artwork, what I like from it, and then I put it on my figure, but not checking the artwork all the time. Once the understanding phase is over, I will not look at that artwork again, because it's I want to do my own thing based on the inspiration of that artwork, but you know, mm, I don't want to replicate it.
That's something interesting about color schemes that I've found, and this is something that I feel like I'm often like kind of recommending people with coming up with color schemes, is that you can really kind of get everything down from just one color, because every other color needs to work with that color. So if you whatever you're painting, really, if you know what one part of it is going to be and you're pretty sure about that, I mean, unless it's like a belt buckle in silver, but like a big maybe armor or a cape or a tunic or skin or something. If you've got that down, then you should be able to fill everything else in with kind of, doesn't have to be a color wheel, but like color theory, just really basic color theory. Things like contrast, that's what we're usually talking about. And I think what you're talking about kind of reminds me of that, because it's essentially what you're saying is you have your artwork that you're inspired by, and then you start working on your thing, which is sort of step 2. And once you have that, whatever that is, if you've built something, if you've just got like little unassembled plastic bits on your desk or whatever, then that becomes the new thing you're working from, right?
Exactly.
That's essentially
yeah.
that's your new starting point. So then
it
everything after that, now you've already got somewhere to go from.
It becomes alive once
Exactly.
I start.
And it starts, it's almost like you just need that first step to like push it along a little bit, and then the rest will sort of fall into place. And that's definitely where experience comes into play, because that's not going to be the same for everyone. That's where you might instinctively know what's going to work, what's not going to work. I know something I come up against a lot is like an idea will look very different because of my sort of limitations in converting. If I was a much better sculptor, I could have very different ideas.
Yeah.
But I think that's where, again, someone else might think, well, I've never done anything like that. I have to base everything I do from a stock model. Or again, someone else might think, no, I'm totally fine with sculpting. So the idea can be literally anything. I can make this model do anything or shape it any way I want. That I guess again comes from a little bit of like experience, but also sort of knowing your limitations, knowing where you're at.
And I guess not sticking to them, because I think being ambitious will take you so much farther than if you are not. Like, some things you may not do well, but some things you will. And those things that you will do well, you wouldn't have discovered them if you were not ambitious. So
no, that's the other thing. Like, really never feel free to like write it on a post-it and put it on your desk, but like one thing I would say is never be afraid to fail at art or your hobby. I mean, if we boil it down to what it is, like we're painting toy soldiers because we enjoy it. Failing isn't really like, does that even exist? You
it's
can
part
do
of the
something
process,
that,
actually.
yeah, it is part of the
You
process. It's
cannot.
literally something you have to, and definitely when I started out, I was fortunate in that I genuinely didn't care that what anyone else was going to think. I was very happy to show off my work to like the guys that worked at the Warhammer store, and they were encouraging because I was a little kid. But that feeling of like, I just want to do this stuff. It doesn't matter if it becomes good according to anyone else's standard. I'm really happy I had that, because it really became this great driving force. And I'm really sad to see so many people like stuck with, well, what if this doesn't turn out good? And
You
I
learned
think,
that last week.
probably won't.
2 weeks ago.
You have
I
to
can't
go
remember,
through that.
what was it?
Yeah, you really do. Yeah.
I can't remember
Yeah,
how
that's
you were
kind of
doing it.
what you were talking about, Jamie, with sort of stopping because you put this weird expectation on yourself. And yeah, again, to tie it into like inspiration, I think that's something that you have to just like Arnau is saying, like don't push yourself in the sense of I have to get better, I have to learn this, but just like don't be too afraid. Actually, like keep in mind that might just be this sort of feeling of fear and like a conservative sense of I might not do this very well. And I think, well, fuck it, just do it really badly then you can evaluate that and see what works next time.
It's obviously I'm in my new train of thought here, so it's not hard anymore. But while I'm in that deep mode, it's hard because it's like learnt. I don't know what the word. There's a saying. It's like learnt behavior, like how a dog would be learnt, to do the tricks and shit. So that's what you need to beat as well, though. Is I think maybe culturally is not the right word, but in our community, we're all very much geared like that. I talk to other people as well about it, and they've got the same things going on in their head and the same expectations. I don't know if it's social media or what. Like, we've managed to take away the joy of painting, is how I feel. I talk to a lot more people. It might be that the people enjoy it, don't talk about it, but I talk to a lot more people who say, oh, I'm stuck on this. I find it too hard. There's too much. Like, I hear that more than I hear, I'm fucking just slapping paint down and loving it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
I understand that, but I also think that it's not anyone's fault other than yourself.
I suppose it's a journey that you need to go on to come back round and have the youthful joy of painting and not caring and going for it. And then you'll get to this point where you'll question yourself and have an existential crisis on, is painting worth it? And then they'll take 6 years out, and then they'll come back and realize that actually, yeah, painting is worth it if you just don't put that
For me,
pressure on
it all comes down to why do you paint?
to get girls.
How you act?
It's like the only reason to get girls. Like, it's
of course we all do that.
It's like, why else would we do it? Fucking hell! Look at those damn bitches. Yeah.
No one in this podcast is single. I mean, you do the math, listeners.
Yeah, exactly. I think people paint more when they're actually in a relationship. Weirdly, because you're
sorry. So Arnau, you're saying that it's not necessarily like a culture thing, but just down to any one individual putting that pressure on themselves.
Oh, that's absolutely for sure.
But isn't that learnt though? Isn't that learnt from the people, from the social media? Everybody's sharing for likes. Isn't it much more learnt?
No, but how are this is very interesting because we established that you hear what you want to hear and that you read what you want to read. Yes,
I see. Yeah. Okay.
But now social media is telling you that's not how it works.
No, well, I don't. It's not. Yeah, I'm not doing the social media. I'm talking about other people because I don't do social media. I mean, right?
But I think everyone is the same. Everyone hears really what they want to hear, and
I'm not just using you as an example, but not necessarily a perfect example of this behavior within the community. But people.
Right, so now you're saying I am literal again, basically.
At the end of the day, if you paint because you enjoy painting, you will keep doing it no matter what. If someone else says shit, you will not even hear it because you are painting it.
It's more nuanced than that. It's more nuanced because I genuinely didn't care if someone said I don't like that piece. If I enjoyed painting it, right? It's fine because I don't care. I enjoyed what I was doing. By the way, I put the magnets perfectly. It's quite cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I didn't. I didn't enjoy
the moment.
God.
The moment you changed that approach and you stopped painting because you liked it, the moment you changed the reason why you painted it is the moment you lost it.
Well, and that it's like a boner. But
that's what I mean.
I only lost it because I tried to get better. So I actively thought in my brain, oh fuck, I want to get better at this, rather than I'll paint for 5 years and I'll naturally get better because I'm enjoying it.
Because your reason for painting was not fun anymore. Was learning. It was the
school. We should drop out of school. really, and just do subjects you want to do, is what I'm hearing. Yeah.
Well, actually, I think
Yeah.
the educational system is not
It's broken.
really good, but it's a thing for another episode, I guess.
Maybe.
Also, that's probably not mini Matt's topics.
It's definitely related, though. I think I get what you're saying, Jamie, and to Arnau's point as well. It is true that the motivation will be quite different if you're actually interested in it.
It's genius, Arnau. That is, it's true. It means I'm not painting for fun anymore. I'm painting to A, get the bitches, and B, get better at painting. Because they're flowing. There's so many that you
You get there? You stop.
Did I stop?
I feel like when I was getting into this hobby and I was hanging out at the Warhammer store and people came in with their armies, and I'm probably making this up, but I feel like I saw a lot of random shit that people did with their armies that was quite fun, and I could see this real sense of like just being creative. There was always, like, everyone had for their army a heavenly, well, not heavily, but like a converted hero that was their leader. And I remember at some point thinking like, well, that was the standard in like the armies in White Dwarf. That's kind of how people were told to do. And I think there is something to be said for what we're told to do now and by whom, because part of it is Games Workshop. If we're talking about Warhammer specifically, like they have, their version of what armies look like and what they constitute as a conversion and whatever else. And even in Golden Demon now, we're sort of being discouraged to convert too much and be too interesting.
Massively.
Yeah. And but also again from like social media, and I think it's an interesting line of thinking. Like what is the general attitude for creativity, and again for like failing or doing something that isn't really cool, or because I mean I guess if I'm being honest, I do also see a lot of random shit on social media now and things, and also I don't go to tournaments, and I understand that people still do really cool things with their armies. So what the hell do I know? But I feel like I just think maybe there is a difference there.
Yeah, I think we need to learn from this, all of us, and it's fascinating. I do like the concept. I was also always pissed off when people did shit conversions. But now thinking back, I shouldn't have. I really hated it. I was like, why would you fucking do that to your model? It'd be like a guy with a gun for a hand, right? And it's just like he's cut it off at the bottom and put it in, like, it's like fucking shit, okay? But looking back now, I probably shouldn't have been so harsh because they were having fun doing it.
They're just having fun, yeah.
Yeah, and I just could not conceptualize why they would live their lives that way. Before my I was very non-judgmental, but when I did judge, I was extremely binary. I couldn't comprehend that there was anything other than my way of thinking, if that makes sense. I just couldn't get my head around it. And that's why having an addiction has really opened up my view that actually everybody's fucked and completely ruined and just dog shit, basically. Because I never thought that before. Yeah,
for sure.
I'd never
get to that step. You're a free man once you understand that.
Yeah, it's just it's just weird, isn't it? The work, like,
everyone,
and it's worse, right? Because anybody in power has to be narcissistic by default, I believe. Okay, so like, because why else would you spend your entire life to live a shit life, but you have control and everybody knows you and talks about you and has to listen to what you're saying? Basically, a prime minister or a politician or the only exception there might be like an Obama vibe where he's still narcissistic, but he disguises it as he's charming enough to make it not seem that way, basically. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. The politics is another episode as well that we could.
Well, I don't do politics really, except for knowing that it's all fucking shit.
It is all fucking shit.
That's as far as my politics goes. Yeah.
Right at this very moment, I'm inclined to agree. Actually, it's all a bit shit.
So I didn't know you could build like a flat bed of magnets. It's cool, isn't it? So.
Oh, super good.
Jamie's had a delivery to his house of magnets, and it is
right.
definitely the event of this day.
It was. I was remarkably pleased. And I'll tell you what's fascinating also is, now I didn't know this happened, okay? But if you do build a bed of magnets, because they've got poles, they go to one end or the other depending on where they are, right? And
Absolutely
if I keep
incredible.
adding to this pile, that pole will get bigger, and then I have to push them in to do that, and then it stays
Magic.
like fuck.
Sorcery.
Imagine, right? Have you? The floor. It's a floor. Oh, mosaic. People make mosaic floors, right? They fucking. Christ, imagine a mosaic of magnets on the floor. How much fucking you could fuck people up. Powerful magnets. A dog walks in, with his collar on the floor. You're fucked, mate. Yeah. Drop your phone. Oh no, it's broken. Shouldn't have dropped your phone, you twat. Trying to pick up your keys? Nah. They are N1 magnets, the most powerful in the world.
Try to use a compass in that place. Ain't happening.
No chance. Put them on the ceiling, metal boots. Right?
Revolutionary.
No one has thought of that. A floor of magnets.
Not one person.
Why would that be?
Make sure you apply for a patent before you post this podcast, because I think there's going to be a real rush.
It's expensive though, because these magnets are not cheap, and it was like 100 for 20 quid. So
where'd you get them?
eBay. No, Amazon.
So no pirate.
No. Now's the pirate expert here. Oh, went in the middle. Right, I've killed that segment. So yeah, I do find inspiration. I mean, with my newfound ability to paint without worrying about the results, because I remember before I met this guy, Arnau, I tried to copy one of his paint. Oh fuck, that's interesting. So right. Oh.
No, go ahead.
I've
How many things going on?
I've ruined it. Right.
Yeah.
Before I met Arnau, and I didn't know he was a
Arnau.
painter.
Yeah.
I was trying to copy one of his paint jobs. Okay, couldn't do it for the fucking life of me. Couldn't do it. Right, and I had it in front of me, and I was like, "How is he?" It was the Bone Man with the.
The face. Bone Man.
He's a normal person. But he's wearing armor. Yeah. Oh, is it? Ooh.
Yes.
Bad paint job. No. Yeah. Okay. Well, one big problem with the magnet floor, just to go back to it, sorry, is one small, one tiny, like you fuck it up. What's one imperfection, and the whole thing turns into a magnet row. They all like a pound strip where you have all the pound coins and a thing.
It would be funny to be there, yeah.
That would imagine that, and you spent like $1 million building it. Anyway,
are you going to magnetize all your Eldar weapons? Is that what's happening?
Nah, it's for the bases.
For the bases?
Yeah, so I can transfer. I have a metal tray, right?
Isn't it quite easy to magnetize the weapons for the Warwalkers and Wraithlord?
Yeah, probably. I did do it on my Wraith Knight, and I did do it on some of the Autarchs. But on the normal foot guys, I'd rather just have 2 squads with double. Because the Elder Project. Okay, well, let me finish the Arnau bit.
Anyway,
so
yeah.
No, you were on something. You were trying to copy Arnau's paint job before you even knew it.
So I couldn't do it right. But that was inspiration. But I was trying to do a 1-for-1 copy. I was trying to, not quite true. I was trying to recreate his bone because I liked it. Right. Oh, I did know you are now when I copied. I just didn't know you painted it. Yeah, big difference.
So what did that look like? Right. Did you ask Arnau for the color, for the paint recipe? And
it was the same time, Arnau, that you were painting the morning. That's when I was trying to paint him as well, and I was using that artwork. So you did know me. There was this tiny crossover, but we didn't know each other that well for the morning. We'd only
not that well.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, and then on Martin. So this was the link. So I knew I had Arnau's artwork before I knew him, and then I've had your artwork saved in my computer for like 12 years, right? And only now do I realize that you're the guy that painted one of my favorite Ulthwee armies. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
They do say never meet your heroes. Yeah, it is weird.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating, honestly, because they're some of the best. Well, this brings back to the inspiration, right? This is why I'm talking about it anyway. They're some of the best Ulthwee since 3rd edition. Like inspired, but upgraded, right? like that kind of reddy black, red gore. And whenever I paint Warhammer, I always feel like a cheat because I want to recreate the color schemes or things that are the ones I grew up with. And I always wondered how the heavy metal team come up with paint schemes, the first paint schemes, right? Because this has always blown my mind. And I've always wondered, is it the artwork or is it you guys?
So, and I'll say something about this, which I realized about experience and inspiration and all that shit, because it's hard to. So okay, I'll say this first. It is hard, I think anyway, when someone's like, if you just do this thing 100,000 times, you're going to get good at it. And I can see that being the case with like bench presses, and I can see it being the case with, well, a lot of things really, when you're just building and trying it again and getting better at it. But for whatever reason, that sort of thought process, I couldn't really see how that could get better. Like having ideas is not something that I could really see how that would improve just by having ideas, if that makes sense. Like I've got this idea. For anything. Like I've had an idea for a movie, let's say, and then okay, well, what if you have 10 ideas and you write them down? Why would those ideas suddenly get better? It's not something I could instinctively understand. Now, anyway, when I was working for the heavy metal team, I got a lot of experience coming up with and developing color schemes, and I realized after all these years of doing that I think my knack for coming up with color schemes is better. I think I'm better now at developing color schemes and also like resolving ideas that I have to make them work better. If I'm, for example, right now I'm working on a squad, and I think I'm a little more confident kind of developing that idea and turning into something that's going to work as a whole because of the years I did at heavy metal, rather than or compared to when I was, or before I started working there. And I can only really kind of see that now after like years and years. But that's, I guess, what happened. It's not just that, it's not necessarily that like I'm just somehow my ideas are better now than they were then. Clearly, it's something that I've developed. And I didn't quite see that happening. If that makes sense, you know, 'cause it's not something that you sit down at a desk and you whittle away at the same thing and now you're better at it. It's something that's happening in your brain from actually thinking about something and having to think about something and having to solve the same kind of problem.
But also, you're not specifically saying to yourself at the start of X a period of time, oh, I want to be better at X thing. You're just doing your job, and you will get better. Right? Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And it's kind of an interesting, and that was, and this is sort of to answer your question, is it was probably my favorite part of working for heavy metal. And one of the things I really miss the most is getting to develop color schemes for new armies. So the way it works, or it did when I was there, is you'll have, depending on what project it is, you'll have more or less inspiration to build off of. So if it's, I mean, let's say the Blood Angels, because we were talking about those last week, our beloved Blood Angels. You know, the red armor is pretty much set. The way they saying us a lot, sorry about that. The way the color
once
breaks
GW
down
or always, I guess.
On a Space Marine, the way it breaks down is pretty much set. It's written down somewhere. You know, the veterans have their gold helmets, assault marines have the yellow helmets, the numbers and symbols and all that's already done. So that, no need to do that. The recipe for the gold armor, maybe that needs updating. Okay, so maybe someone needs to have a look at writing some new gold recipes. I wasn't there, so I don't know
what, because the paint's changed or something.
Yeah, or maybe just because they're not going to really stand next to the old Sanguinary Guard anyway. I'm just thinking out loud here. That's where kind of how that project would look for me, to sit down with a bunch of painters and go, okay, what do we need to update, if anything? So
it's more theory than I would have imagined. Like in my head, it would have just been like, right, Martin, go and fucking do them, and you're like, cheers, mate, and then you come back a week later and they're done, kind of thing.
That happens with, you know, Ultramarines, or a lot of well, if there's like a one-off random thing, so well, what would that be? Something that's not specifically belonging to any range. Even, we were going to talk about the new Eldar Spirit Seer.
are
That's
indeed.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a recipe for the Yanden color scheme. So that's probably there for someone to use. But again, is that definitely going to be stood next to a bunch of other Yanden stuff? Maybe not. Maybe you could go off a little bit and do that different.
But that's just the
I painted
recipe.
a
But
like.
the color scheme would still have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would still need to look
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Yanden,
okay.
and that's more like that's kind of connected to the IP, which is always going to be the basis for everything that GW does. Is where does it fit into the IP? And I think there's no real. I wouldn't say that I'm looking for ways to to change the way things have been done or like to alter the IP, but I think there's always going to be that sort of quite wide frame of not necessarily what has been done before, but what could fit into this IP. Which I think is something that the Golden Demon judges ideally would be quite good at as well, isn't it? So like the diorama that Arnau did with the Space Marines killing the Chaos Space Marines, that all to me instinctively definitely fits into the IP, even though those Space Marines aren't something that the heavy metal team have done much with.
Yeah,
Maybe there's like one guy somewhere, but that's totally fine. You know what I mean? That definitely fits into the world of 40K, even though it's not necessarily been done before. So anything new that heavy metal
But you would
designs
have
or develops,
you would have free reign to do that, would you? Or you'd do in those meetings and you'd be like, right, I want to paint this bloke blue, but he's normally green.
Yeah. If there's a, I mean, we can use a specific example, but like, what's cool that's come out? I mean, again, it depends on the army.
Angron?
If it's a brand new army, that's another discussion. Then that's something like the AOS stuff will usually be something brand new. So like the new Hashut Chaos Dwarf dudes, that will have been something that's there's very little really to go off of where it needs to connect to something. There's been some Forge World Chaos Dwarfs. Do we need them to look exactly like that? Probably not. There's the old Chaos Dwarfs. Probably don't need to look anything like them. So that's more or less a blank slate.
And
Or
do they worry about
specific.
ease of painting?
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Is anybody thinking?
Yeah. That's the other thing is once you've got an idea for how they need to, what they're going to look like. So some just like Photoshop sketches of where the colors are placed. You need
all
to
that stuff. Okay.
you need to design all the recipes, and that needs to be able to be painted by 10 plus people. So that's another thing. Like when we did the Leagues of Votan, which is something that I was actually part of, so I know more about that. But that was a really long process of designing color schemes. I think Max did 80, no, maybe like 40. I think it was more than that, like 60 or 70 or something color schemes at the very start.
Well, like,
and then
literally, so because the way this is how I imagine the process, right? I'm GW, okay. Arnau or you are the right. Space Marines got a new chapter. They're called Fiddly Diddlies. Fucking just do something with that, yeah. Get it back next week, and then you guys go off. This is how I thought it was. You paint 5 of them. Come back and he goes, "What do you think of this for a basic color scheme?" And then I'll give you some feedback. I'll be like, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then you go back and then you finish the stuff and then you do maybe one more paint and then you come back and then, but you actually have to come up with, what was it, recipes, and you have
so recipes is the what I use, and I think that's become kind of a common word for anything to do with heavy metal painting. Is just that's just like an Ultramarines armor will be Macragge blue, Calgar blue, shaded by mixing in Cantor and black. That's the recipe.
You don't release those recipes, do you? It's just internal.
Now it's not really something they allow, but you can find most of those recipes if you go to EviArchive, I think .com probably. I mean, fucking Google it, but yeah, evi-archive.com has a whole bunch of recipes for all kinds of ranges, and that's collected by Dave Perryman and others.
Oh, interesting. Dave Perryman.
Yeah, David Perryman, the genius himself, Slayer Sword winner, and a bunch of other people have helped to build that archive out into what it is. That's a good place to look for how does the heavy metal do X, Y, Z is just that how it's done.
And that's
for
because
all
it's
kinds of art.
formaic, isn't it? I like because we
Yeah,
were.
exactly. Very much so. Yeah.
We were talking about it off air, which we shouldn't do, right? We should save comments. But I remember we were talking about how, for example, Fulgrim, like that, they're the new one, right? That's not going to be a recipe. We weren't talking about Fulgrim. This is an example. I can't remember who we were talking about, but that's just that person going off and painting how they want to paint that Fulgrim, right? Basically.
Yes, but there will be, and this is again something I really liked, both as a painter of something and as just part of the team, is I really enjoy the fact that it is teamwork, always. Whenever you see something that you think this is really well painted, someone will have sat there with a brush, yes, but there will have been, other people involved in designing that color scheme. And again, it'll vary from project to project. Like when I was painting Angron, I got a ton of help with just like basically sense checking ideas. Even though I knew like, yeah, he's gonna have red skin, he's gonna have brass armor. That's all over the lore. We know that. But like, what does that mean exactly? Like which brass? When brass is also like a weird word because people confuse bronze, brass, copper, and gold. And always just call everything brass. It's not exactly the same color. So is it copper armor? Is it really dark? Is it really shiny? How do we weather it and so on? It's good to have other people to check that with. So that most of that will happen
like
before I start painting anything.
Did you find it restrictive though in that regard? Like I can't
No,
imagine
not
now, for example, like that kind of vibe. But it's a different mentality, right? You're
It is
buying
very
into the
much a different.
team.
And I it's interesting because I know that that's what Arnau does every day with a lot of other box art, and I don't really envy that freedom so much. I think I would still want to check things with someone else if I was doing the box art for all these busts and 70 mil figures that you do, whatever it is. I would want to check like, is this a good way to go? Is this a good color scheme? Does this make sense? And I guess that becomes again to connect it to like what you were saying about don't be too afraid to try things out. That does happen sometimes. Is you end up in a place where you're afraid that you can't actually do things yourself. You actually you ask maybe questions that you do know the answer to, but you still want to check with someone else.
That's what I was just going to
so
say.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both.
But then on a flip side, like in my work, we write all our code and then we send it out to 2 developers within the team, and they have to not fact check it, but just validate it, right? And then you learn stuff because someone, like, don't get me wrong, some people write stupid shit and you're like, but you have to listen. And then other times they write shit and you're like, oh fuck yeah, I didn't think about that. Like, so you could learn from it.
Yeah, and I think that's the best case scenario. You get some good ideas from other people, and you get to give good feedback to them, and you get to work again with like a lot of projects feel like you're all kind of working together, but obviously there's probably just going to be one person putting brush to model. Yeah.
So in other words, it's not as binary. You don't get stuck, or you do get stuck, but you can ask other people. Yeah, because I literally have always wondered, like, how the fuck did all these painters come up with so many good color schemes? For example, the Iandin color scheme that Arnau. This is Arnau's favorite color scheme, actually, just the yellow and blue.
Is it?
I think it is. Yeah. What do you think?
Big fan of the Swedish and or Ukrainian flags. Are you?
Albert hates it, but
nice.
I don't love it or hate it. I think I like Yanden as a
concept,
as a thing, because it's based on spectral.
No, you like the lore more than the color scheme.
Yeah, the color scheme is
the original Eldar schemes go way back. So I would have no idea who actually designed them originally. It's probably like Mike McVeigh or someone from.
It's older even. Yeah, it's even older. It's literally from the late 80s. They changed. They did develop. Mike brought some more modern calmerness. Like Uthwi used to be red and black. Sorry, black and yellow.
Yeah, black. Yeah. Well, yeah, black and yellow, but they're still black and yellow. But there's
they went to black and red for like 10 years, and now they're back to black and yellow. But yeah, it is interesting actually seeing all the old ones. It's like Dark Angels used to be red. Is that right? Blood Angels.
No.
What
No,
the
they
fuck
used
are
to be black.
The green
Used to
ones
be
used to be
quite
black.
black.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
So stuff
I
does
think
change.
there was someone. Oh shit! I should know this better. I think actually what it is someone. There's a piece of artwork where the black was rendered as dark green,
That's
but it was
that's
sort of meant. Is that
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And then they turned into.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. And then that's. But I think that's how the Dark Angels became green. It was just black was rendered as dark green.
I love.
To look cool, the same way that you might paint black with any color really, because you need to add highlights and like reflections to it. And this was just done as a dark green, and then it just looked really cool. And they ended up painting them like that in the miniatures.
It's a weird thing for GW. Like, I feel like all of the max creativity stuff came like a long time ago. Like I didn't have a specific, but like late 80s, early 90s, like those mistakes, or like what the fuck was it? All of the artwork. So every single sculpt for Eldar that has come out in the last like 10 years, 15 years, have all been from the late 80s, early 90s. Like literally every single one. You know the new flying ships that they have for the Harlequins, the transports.
Yeah.
And they look hyper modern and stuff. That was literally a dress sketch that he did in the late 80s that no one remembered that well, and then they take that inspiration.
But also, Age of Sigmar is a lot more exciting because they are not stuck in the same things. Don't you agree that Age of Sigmar is slightly more exciting?
Absolutely not. And I think you're a twat. Would you? So
how, more exciting how than 40k? Just generally.
they're not restricted to the whole lore. This is the predictability.
Oh, you mean the creation of AOS right now? No, I'm inclined to agree with Arnau. But go ahead, Jamie.
Creativity wise, it's another league. Like that's not even. And I love 40k with all my life, but sometimes it's boring as shit because they don't do anything new.
No, it's because they do. Yes, but that's by choice. It's because it's a safe bet.
I know it's by choice, and I think it's the wrong choice.
Like, why release another lieutenant? Why do it?
Exactly.
Exactly. It's extremely frustrating. Yeah, I that's all I've got to say on it actually. Because otherwise this just turns into a GW. Yeah. But like, no, I'm so close to going down that road. But yeah, I wish that they didn't do that.
You want to tell Arnau off? I think this is a great conversation to have, and I think Arnau is right. Almost by definition, AOS is more creative because there's just nothing there. They're like it's almost too creative. I mean,
no, but
some of the early stuff.
Why does
they were
Storm
like,
Guardian? What are they called?
Storm.
What are the Storm Shields?
Stormcast Eternals.
Why do they look like Space Marines? That's not creative. They're making the poster boys look like the poster boys.
Intentional too. I mean, that's
clearly.
What did you say? They wanted to replicate Space Marines in Age of Sigmar, which
Yeah.
I understand. I don't agree. I don't agree at all. But it's clearly a decision.
Yeah.
So actually, it actually gives solidifies this even more. The only thing that it's based on something that was already established is the most boring part of Age of Sigmar. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. You're a piece of shit. I do. It makes it makes total sense. Yeah. Okay. Well, Eldar is still. No, I would absolutely love creativity. I would love them to create some sort of like beast rider randomly for Eldar, for example, or like some. But no, that's not even fucking creative. If they did, because that's already in the lore. So,
but a new type of vehicle, a new type of unit,
I would
a
love
new
it.
character, a new
isn't there,
whatever.
Isn't there? Fuck's sake! Isn't there a danger of? Sorry for all the beeping. It's my blood sugar.
It's the first time we've heard it.
Yeah, well, it won't be the fucking last. So, isn't there a danger with Eldar, for example, of it being a bit stagnant, of it just being we need to redo something that's been done before just because, or we absolutely desperately have to come up with a new unit because this army just needs to have more stuff come out.
Yeah, but can't
Isn't
you
there a
be
danger?
creative
I mean,
and be
that's
good
not a
at it?
good motivation. What?
Like, what I think you're saying is you're only creating new units for the sake of creating new units, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But can't you just
A
create
bit like
something for
a
the
new
sake of
iPhone
creating it,
every
but do
year.
it good? Like, just don't be shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean?
potentially. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
but I'm okay with the hypothesis that might happen, but I'm skeptical of it actually happening. Again, it's a
yes,
bit like Apple has to have a new iPhone every year. That will happen.
yeah,
That sounds like a shit like brief
they are.
if I was a designer for Apple.
Yeah, but you'd be
Like,
like,
so
right, we can make 2 billion a year
what
just
you
by
do.
releasing a
Take
new
what we've
phone.
done for the next like 18 years and just do another one for next year.
But
Cool.
like, so they like, what I will say to go out of the GW bashing is they have created some new cool units for Eldar. They did Shroud Runners, they did all the Harlequin stuff, but they did the Wraith Knight, they did
The no, not Exarch, Phoenix Lord for Warp Spiders was a really cool model
yeah,
and
yeah,
definitely a very nice, neat little gap to fill
yeah,
because they would
and
have one.
they've still got to do the Rangers Phoenix Lord, and
Sure
because
that they
Is
would
there
have one, but they're not aspect warriors,
no, but they've got him in the lore.
do they?
Well, no, but he has a god, and that means they could easily do one if they wanted to. They've got the creator of Eldar, the father of Eldar. You have Isha. It's the same as the Elven lore, basically. It's
All right,
identical. The
sure.
Monarchy or whatever he's called. He's
Yeah.
like anyway. Fuck it. No,
Monkey
he's not an aspect, but I still like them to get a character. He could be like a Phoenix, a demi Phoenix.
Oh, they could get a character for sure. They could do a character. It just wouldn't be a Phoenix Lord. That's a good
My
shout.
theory, I guess we're going to naturally over time go to GW products because we all love it. So if you don't like it, you are screwed. Not you three, the listeners. My theory is they're currently in the phase of what's that word? Innovation. That's what I think they're in. I think they're in the phase now of they're hard resetting everything. They're fucking off all the old models. They're getting rid of metal. They're getting rid of old plastic kits. They're going to a baseline of okayness, right? Is what I think. They're making HD versions of stuff that was SD before and 4K,
Yeah.
right?
I agree completely with that.
Yeah, and I like, so I hope that at the end of 10th, every army's got their refresh except for Grey Knights, Dark Eldar. More or less every army's got their refresh, and then I think they can introduce, hopefully, like a golden age, you could say, of Warhammer. Like,
yeah, let's hope. I think they've done, with that in mind, I think they've done good work with a lot of stuff. I don't hate where Space Marines have been in the last couple of years, or maybe I do. No, I think it was kind of nice with like.
I think they've been in
Marines
middle ground. I think they've had some amazing, like genuinely really good, innovative, brilliant sculpts, and then they've also had some dog shit, which is fine because that's normal. You will hit and miss, won't you? I don't actually have a problem.
But I do really appreciate things like, because obviously we want to talk about Eldar as much as humanly possible on this podcast.
Yeah, I forgot
do
about
like the fact that range refresh was quite sort of straightforward, like New Guardians.
Yeah, it was just a
the
HD upgrade, wasn't it?
just a bunch of exactly like you say, HD stuff. I appreciate how simple that felt. Like it was just, no one actually wants us to reinvent the Eldar range. Let's just do everything nice.
Yeah, it's a shame it was 23 years too late, but it wasn't too late because it was there and it was great. But it is interesting, and I agree completely. I had no real complaints, and I'm not a Blood Angel player, so I wouldn't know what that's like. But so yeah, the news was, we can go there quickly. The new, I really like, obviously, the new sculpt is great, I think, and I think the paint job's probably the best anybody could do. I genuinely find that inspiring. So I need to try and find that recipe for that yellow. I'd like to, although I do like painting my own shit, so maybe not. I like the blue. I like the sculpt, and I'm very glad it's an Eldar. I'm shocked actually that it's an Eldar for the Warhammer Plus. Like, that blows my mind.
They
I
stepped
like
up the
I like
scope
that
so
both.
much.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Arnau.
The other exclusive figures for Warhammer
Mini
Plus,
ones, well,
they
yeah,
were always quite boring,
yeah.
and these two are mind-blowingly good.
What
So
about the Vindicare Assassin? Yo, that was good. That was cool. The first.
Did you do it, Martin?
it was okay.
I did paint that. Brian Nelson
Yeah,
sculpted it.
yeah.
I quite
Like,
like that
you wouldn't
model.
ask in that way otherwise. Yeah.
No, I would not. It didn't need a base at all. I remember thinking, I'm gonna do the most nonsense minimal base imaginable, so that they can crop it out of the photo. It shouldn't be there at all. But besides that, it's a cool model. I quite like it. Now I agree that these models are really nice and beautiful, and I do like that they're moving to like these. The commemorative stuff is basically like little dioramas, because I think it's really fun for everyone in the studio. I can only imagine. Aside from having painted one of those myself, it's just great to work on something. Oh, I did. You know what else? I did that Bayard's Revenge, the Black Templar Emperor's
That
Champion.
one was
That's
very
stabbing
cool.
an orc, right? Basically, several people have entered that into Golden Demon as a duel, because that's what it is. It's a duel, and it's awesome. It's not like the most easiest piece to play with, but it's great. I love that they're doing things that are just kind of for miniature collectors and painters and cool bits as well. And so these two are really like that. I can't really see anyone putting that Eldar thing on a gaming table.
Yeah, that was always a criticism of GW. They forgot how to have fun. You know, the orc sculpts they used to have in the back in the day, blah blah blah. So yeah, I agree. These are much more relaxed, as it were, more artistic-y. So anybody who wants to go and look can just look on the Warhammer community and just search for Warhammer Plus, I guess, model or something. And we can just put it in the fucking group because we've only got 5 listeners anyway. So, and they'll all be in there, right?
The problem is we can just share it with each other, be friends.
yeah, right. They should just have a private WhatsApp, right? Yeah. And we can just share the video directly there. We've got a lot of stuff to cover. We haven't got near GW release cycle yet, so that's for next week. Right, let's do the new segments. I still want to talk about Dan and Rebel Moon, but we might have to wait till next week. So
I want to hear a quick update on GD, but yeah, go to your new segments.
Oh, we can do GD. I have no update.
Good. Short and sweet. What about you, Arnau?
I do have a small update. I was doing some mock-ups with pieces to do a chaplain at the end, because I thought I want to do a fucking chaplain, so I'll do a fucking chaplain, even if it's just a black armor. You know, I was almost falling into wanting to get a demon instead of wanting to paint something cool, and I realized where I was going, and I didn't like it.
Nice.
Because of what we spoke about, like in the first episode, I guess.
Sure.
Yes, that's right.
Probably.
That's right.
That's what it was. That's what it was, Arnau.
I'm glad that you worked that out.
And then I realized I just want to have a cool chaplain, so I'm gonna do a cool chaplain.
In
that's
black,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the chaplain, the guy with the face mask?
Right? Yeah, if I don't get anything because it's boring, then that's fine.
So you're doing it for 40k single?
Yes. Well, there's another. Are
you entering 40k single?
I am not actually, but there's a lot of people on that list now. I'm just it's going to be a cool category. Sorry, go ahead.
It's not 100% sure.
Okay.
Because if I have more time, maybe I'd like to do how is it called? That vampire thing, that centaur vampire thing.
Oh yeah, I think I know the one. That's like half dragon, half
weird thing, half vampire.
Yeah.
I always like that. That's called very much, and it's something that I really see myself doing for fun.
And in like 4 days.
I mean, it's not a complex piece, so that's actually one of the reasons why I chose it.
Can you find a photo and share that so I know what the fuck you're talking about in the Minimats group? Not now, like just
yeah, sure. Yeah, you should
do it now. I want to dictate to you how to live your life on now. What about you, Martin?
I have I guess I'm finished building most of my piece, my entry, and I've airbrushed everything in a color. I do base coats with airbrush, so I've
That's
done that.
madness. How do you find? But doesn't the paint rub off because it hasn't chemically bound to the model?
Chemically bound.
When you use airbrush, it melts itself
Metaphysically
into.
bound.
What?
It fucking becomes the plastic when using it.
If that was
a
the
spray
case, that
can.
would be amazing.
It does.
Oh, but with the spray can, I see what you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah, with not with the airbrush. No, actually, I have found priming with an airbrush, it just doesn't give me the same durability as a spray can. It's true.
Yeah.
I've heard people say that. Yeah, that's the one. I've heard people say that it's the same and that they're
It's
absolutely
bullshit.
fine.
It really is.
Primer. Yeah, bullshit. I'm obviously I'm doing something wrong, or I should apply 17 coats or whatever. But
No, but you're
I
doing it
can't be
right
bothered.
if it's not coming off on your. I found that when I did airbrush,
It is
it
kind
would
of
come
coming
off with
off
my
though.
finger
Yeah, it's not quite that bad, but it was definitely like I was trying
on the
to
corners.
do something, and it was yeah, it was a little bit chipping, but it'll be fine. So I've covered everything in a color right now, one color for every
And
piece.
that's more than last week, right? You didn't have.
Oh yeah, quite a lot more. I've been putting in some hours last week. I need to
Jesus.
get on that schedule.
Yeah.
I've got little under 2 months today to finish this shit. So,
Boy, that pressure is piling
but
up, isn't it?
I'm working with some insane sub-assemblies. Like it's every model, every Space Marine's got separate arms, backpack, head, and also like all the pouches and accessories and shit. I've just left those off because I couldn't decide where they go. I've even painted a bunch of skulls, just skulls separately, so I can glue them onto the base separately.
You're going hard on this sub-assembly shit.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's definitely not the something I would recommend, but I kind of did that with my unit last year, and it kind of worked because it just meant I didn't have to. Basically, I can airbrush things and I can just work on them separately, and yeah, the whole thing is gonna. I'm sure it's gonna work itself out in about 6 weeks when I've painted one Space Marine.
And then you've got 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, what's the word that I was looking for? It's like no, it wasn't a word. It was actually a phrase. But yeah, it doesn't. It would have been a very good antidotal thing that I was coming up with then. We all would have laughed. Actually, I think quite or a smirk. It probably wouldn't have been an out loud laugh. I'm buying time to try and think of it in my head. By the way, while I talk this, but yeah, I got nothing.
How's that working?
It's really fucking annoying when you just have it in your brain and you can almost feel it like it's tactile that you just know that you just need to get to that little reminder of what.
Was it a comment on the madness of my process?
It was like you were. You and then you said this thing right where you were like, you were like. I'm not even joking. That's what's so weird about this is I can't even the thing that I was thinking of that reminded me of the thing that was there. I've lost it. There's a book I've been reading. It's called Mr. Forgetful. Okay, that's what it's just happened now. It's a kid's book by Mr. Men. Yeah, but it was really fuck it. I don't even want to think about it. It's frustrating. I'm glad that you're painting again.
Oh, cheers. Yeah, I'm glad I'm painting just this. I've got other projects like that I'm sort of trying to maybe like get a little bit of ahead on so I'm not completely fucked after GD. But no, it's not the best idea to have several things going at once. I should put all of the other things in a locked suitcase somewhere and never look at them again.
Where the joy is. Otherwise, you'll start taking Ritalin.
I think what I am actually going to do, which is again a little bit connected to what we were talking about with like staying in the moment and all that stuff, painting the thing that's right in front of you. I think if I do paint in sub-assemblies, which I do and I will, I'm just going to put all the other pieces like literally where I can't see them when I'm painting. So I've just got the piece that I'm working on. I think this will. Yeah, and I'm just gonna do the thing because now I got like it's still like a whole Space Marine body, so it's not like a Space Marine finger. and then I can just do that and then finish it.
A Space Marine thing I'd be genuinely impressed.
I think that if that was an easy sub-assembly and I could like pin it to something, I would pin it separately.
Christ,
imagine.
Great. Yeah, my what is it? GD Golden Demon. I did actually get the model at the basement.
Nice.
But I looked at it and I was like, "Fuck! I want to do this really well. I might. I just know I'm not going to do it. I know I won't. I don't. I'm not even going to lie. I know I'm. Come again?
No, good.
Oh, I just thought you saw your lips move. Yeah, I'm not. We did it again. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not going to do it. I would like to. I like the idea of it, but the reality is.
Do you want to see what model it is? No? Okay.
Nah, it's a surprise. This is like my wife on the first night we met. She can wait till we get home. Yeah, so
just like that.
So that leads me to the Eldar project. This is a quick update, okay? 90 Guardians. That's it.
90.
So, 90. Yeah, 90. I've built them all now. Like as I started last week, right, when I was on and that's the last 10. And now I need to undercoat them and put the heads on, etc. It's fucking nice. And I'm going to a tournament on Sunday. And I'm just going to unleash the beast.
Do you have a list with 90 Guardians?
Yeah, I could. If I had 120, then I would have done it, I think. But I didn't want to build 90 or 120. I had 20, so I will say I'm only building 70.
That's all right then.
And I need to base them and paint them basically for Sunday.
Basing and painting, even if it's just with 3 colors, 90 Guardians makes me. I cannot explain it with words.
Well, to alleviate your like, so this bloke, right? Blah blah blah. Don't show the video. Fuck you, right? This guy, the Guardian, he's going to be spray canned.
Holding up a Guardian. Yeah, you spray can them.
Right? Red. It's a Samhain Guardian. The head, spray can white, not on the model. Glue the head on. Fucking black, eyes black, done. But.
And that's all you're doing. You're not no shading or anything.
Nah, okay. Fuck that shit. I ain't got time. I've got 90 Guardians. But what I do have to do is I've had to glue, obviously, every single base with sand. And I'll have to paint every single base. And I won't even use an airbrush.
How well have you cleaned mold lines on those?
Sorry, what are they? Sorry, can't hear you breaking up, mate.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Because that's always my big, well, not the only thing, but if every time I think, wouldn't it be fun to play like a Tyranid army with like 700 gaunts or something? And then I think, I could airbrush them and use contrast paints. But building even like 5 would take me, hours.
You need to let go of any predisposition on this is not going to be shit.
Yeah, for gaming, it's another mindset. I wouldn't even consider removing mold lines in my gaming. Like,
that's controversial.
Who cares?
So what I've done here is, you might notice, basically, to summarize, these are not exactly. These are old models. They're like, I'm using. It's a fucking mismatch. It doesn't matter as long as you know what model they are. I don't care. And I'm quite proud of the fact that I've been using, like, this is a Dire Avenger body. These are Guardian legs from 1999, and the arms are from the new guys, because in the kit you get the Guardian, Storm, and the Storm, so you can, as long as you've got the bodies, you can split. And so I've been. This is the closest to adventurous or inventorous. It's not a word, is it? Inventiveness. That I'm very fucking proud of my ability to use the bits I've had around the house to build 90 Guardians, basically. Very proud. So I'll let you know how the tournament goes in the next.
That's good though. I can actually kind of relate to that level of fuck itness with how you're painting them, because that's below even what I wouldn't even show that to anyone.
Wow.
I would barely. Okay. I would go like, this is just painted enough that I was allowed into a tournament.
Right. Yeah, I let go of that.
Yourself, you should be.
Sorry?
What?
He should be ashamed of himself just
No,
for
what
doing
I'm
that.
wondering, I don't think that Jamie is ashamed, and I
Proud.
respect that. I don't think you should be. I don't think that you should feel any shame or that you've done anything wrong because you're painting 90 Guardians,
Like a real
and you
man.
found a way to do that. But I am
In 2
curious,
days.
Arnau, because you've got some Blood Angels that you play games with,
hmm
and you claim to have painted them to like a gaming standard of
Claim
some
as
kind.
well. The audacity.
Is
It's
that what
extreme
it
gaming.
is? Is it a gaming standard army? Is it something that you're like,
No,
yeah, this is
it's
a piece
above a
of shit?
gaming standard army. You wouldn't
It's
enter
really-
competitions
It's
with it.
not.
Though.
It's
No.
not. It's not.
Share your sanguinar.
Nah, that's not. It's just one mini. But the thing is, when you are a professional painter, you know what works and what doesn't. You paint a lot
Yeah.
of hours, so you can do a lot with very little.
Okay.
And the only appealing thing that my army has is that
5
it's
people
shiny.
a day. No, maybe more. Any place Arnau and I play, legitimately 5 people will come up and more sometimes and just go, fuck, I saw your army from across the table. I just had to come and see it.
Yeah, but we agree that there's nothing else other than just shiny, right?
There's nice that stuff that makes it look old, like used, weathering.
Yeah, but
Uh,
there's a couple of scratches literally done with one
Just
color
share
and
it
a few
to mine,
lines.
and
So
then you can be the judge. Right. That's
I think
actually
I've
the
seen
best
a
way to
photo of the entire army, but I haven't really seen anything up close.
I like the way I was chastised for getting up, and both you fuckers have got up in this episode.
I know we shouldn't do this, but it's just that, right?
Oh, is it actually shiny? It's metallic red.
It's literally
Yeah.
shiny.
Ah, I see.
But everything else is just base coat and wash.
Bases and
There's
nice.
not even a second highlight. It's just base coat and wash. And then there's obviously a few scratches and shit, but that's it.
It's
That's
a high
nothing else.
level. It's a high end army.
Yeah.
It's not.
Fuck you.
And when you've painted that, you're like very comfortable in what you're trying to do. You're not like, oh, this looks like shit, but it's okay, or you'll have to do. Or what do you?
I'm super proud of my army.
Yeah.
I mean,
It should be.
it's
I mean,
it's
Jamie should be as well. I'm not saying anything else. It's just
No.
I know
Are you
for
basically
myself.
saying that you would struggle to let go of your this is a good
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I know this because I have painted stuff for gaming, which I don't game, but I've let myself be tricked into thinking I'm gonna play games, and I've done that. And every time that I've come up against like, well, this doesn't look very good, and I need to fix it, and having to convince myself that I don't. Every little detail. So everything that I painted for gaming is better than it should be, and not in a good way, in a time wasting way.
yeah,
You know?
I understand that, and
Yeah.
I dealt with that many years. I always wanted to have painted armies, and I always tried to do really good, and I never had any painted armies because of that, right?
Mm.
So at one point, I thought, well, it's either having a painted army or trying to do good. So I prefer to have a painted army.
We were playing a lot though as well, so you needed one.
I don't have
guess.
I don't have to prove anything to anyone. It's just my gaming shit. It's not even my. It's not even the same hobby. It's just
Right.
it's another hobby.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've thought about exactly that thing of like not of basically giving up on having like an heavy metal style painted perfect army where I can really be proud of every model and say like, yeah, this is just about as good as I can paint. Like it should be pretty obvious that that's impossible and insane.
We would all love to have that, but
Yeah.
it's materially impossible.
But that was my literally where I wanted to get and thought I should get when I was like 18. I was looking at in White Dwarf and all these like the few sources of inspiration we had. It was like, well, that's what an army looks like, and it was literally I can still have a tiny remnant of disappointment from that time and of like, well, it sucks that I can't have that because, like you said, it is literally impossible.
Yeah.
And also,
I mean,
I should probably remind
my
myself, no one person has that army. That doesn't exist. That's like the studio army.
my realization came from after 20 years of painting. So I literally started my army last year.
Oh yeah,
I just was completely fed up with not
yeah,
having an army, and that overcame my necessity of impressing people.
yeah. No, that's good. That's good. I did think I'm gonna try to maybe get into kill team and try to
Yeah, we've
apply
had the
that
same. We
idea.
three should do a kill team off. I would love that.
Yeah,
To say, I would enjoy
I've
that.
played kill team. It's really fun. It's really cool.
If they
And
release some
all the
sort
stuff
of,
that they,
sorry, mate. Sorry.
no, I was just gonna say all the stuff that they put out for kill team now. I love it. I think
Yeah.
most of the teams are great.
Yeah.
If they release some sort of Eldar-based kill team with a couple of models or something, then I think then we could definitely.
What's available for Eldar now? It's the Striking Scorpions,
yeah,
the Corsairs, obviously, which are kind of don't count.
that's shit.
Is that it? There's nothing with like.
Corsairs actually could be fun to paint if you actually treat them as models, not just
What could be?
60 points. The Corsairs, I actually think they're cool.
Oh yeah. Exactly. If you want a little bit of a slightly up painting challenge from what you're doing with your 90 Guardians, I think Corsairs could be cool. They're quite
I've got
detailed.
40 Corsairs as well. So, but
one thing I've
shit.
found. This is just a last random thought about army painting. One thing I have found, some armies, if you paint every part of the model in just a base coat, and you put no effort whatsoever, but you just pick it out in one base coat, every one model will still take 4,000 hours because of how detailed they are. So this is Gene Stealer cults, Leagues of Votan.
But not if you do the color, what's the contrast paints, no?
Yeah, sure. I mean, obviously, you can paint like the armor and the pouches and the little cables in like one color. That no one's going to kill you for it. But it's insane how much sculpted detail there is on those Gene Stealer cult neophytes compared to say a Tyranid Hormagaunt, which is just all organic.
I thought you were talking about Tyranids.
Yeah, no. I mean, like
exactly.
The Gene Stealer cult hybrids, the people guys. But if you paint like a Gene Stealer, just an actual Gene Stealer, you could pretty much drown that in contrast paint, and it would look okay. Yeah. It wouldn't have like, why isn't this grenade painted a different color?
I actually painted. We used to do some challenges here in the podcast, which were called Taskmasters, and nobody in this podcast.
We did it.
Did them other than me sometimes.
We did it.
And once I painted a Hormagaunt with contrast, and I loved it, and I have it in my cabinet because, and it looks pretty decent.
He did it in like an hour or some shit, right? Right. First rule of the new podcast: no showing cameras.
Exactly. Well,
you can't. It looks better.
Dude, that's
than
not bad. That is not bad. That's cool.
Good. You've got color transitions and highlighting.
It's really nice. And if you had like 30 of those on a table, bosh.
But don't you think? Because every time I go to Warhammer World, although we are, and I see like the lined up squads, you actually want less detailing on a unit of 10 mass times 10. Yeah. You don't want to have every single one, I think, painted to the highest standard. Like, not the highest standard, it's not the right thing to say. If you were to paint every detail and highlight everything with a proper, like, zenith or whatever, I don't know, like, the squad becomes easy. Awesome. But it'd be harder to digest, I think, than when you see a squad.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you're full of shit. Yeah, cool. Let's put it to the test then when we do our kill teams. After Golden Demon, all right? That's what we'll do.
I would absolutely love to do a challenge or whatever if we follow through.
Yeah, well, what we do is each of us put like 500 euros into an Escoban or something, right? And then if we don't paint that, so we're paying ourselves to paint, and then as long as we finish in time, then we'll get that money back. Just
that's actually smart.
Like, how much more motivation could you need than like I don't have that much spare capital, but yeah, right. So, this is the newest segment, okay? The things I hate is we can do that next week because it will open up too much because too much.
It sounds like a 4 or 5 hour segment just on its own. So
it's really good. Right. So the Grot, what's it called?
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Grotbusters. Right. This is it, and then the show's over. We're fucking right. Grotbusters. Now, what could it possibly? You shouldn't. I don't know why. I'd make you guess what it is. Have you heard of a TV show called Blockbusters? English from the 70s. Yeah. Oh well. Basically, you would get a screen and it would have letters, and then you'd get a clue, okay, a cryptic clue, and then you would have to guess what that thing is. So, an example might be like, I fucking don't know, but I'll give you my example because I wrote an example. Okay. Shit, where did I write it? Okay, here you go. So I give you the initials, and it's all Warhammer 40k related. I'll caveat. We can maybe branch out once you guys get your footing. So the initials are HT, okay? And the cryptic clue is, why is the leader of that hive so cruel?
So
Hive
what?
tyrant.
Cruel.
Hive tyrant.
Do you get it, Arnau? Right? HT.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought there'd be more like excitement for the new segment. No, that's fine. That's fine. Right.
I'm excited that I got a point, but
really quick. Well,
yeah.
This is actually, I don't think this is for you two. I think this is you two think of the answers and come back next week, and the viewers, listeners, will email in or put it in direct message me in the motherfucking Minimats thing. So jamie@hutba.com is the email address. We do have a Minimats one, but I can't remember. It's probably like info@minimatspodcast.com or something.
Well, they could do it in Discord, right?
No, because then everyone else will see the answers. So
but nobody will email you the answer.
Oh, now it's the rules, okay? And we're gonna have you guys sort out the prize, all right? Whoever gets the correct answers. There's no prize. We don't have any money. Okay, so are you ready? But don't answer. Okay, so the first one, cryptic clue, is the initials LR. Okay. Don't. I've written them down. Where's the fruit going in such a hurry? Okay. The fruit. Where's that fruit going in such a hurry? Okay. The next one. He's not a good one. He's not a good one. And that's the initial A. Okay. Good.
That's very cryptic.
Both of these are cryptic clues for the same LR.
No. The first one was LR, and it's where's that bloody fruit going? Just tell him to slow down.
Yeah.
Where's he going? Okay.
Yeah.
Then the next one is A. Just number 2 is
A.
And he's a bad one. Oh no, shit. He's a good one. So he's not a good one, is the clue.
He's not a good one, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a good one or he's not a good one?
Yeah, that's not terribly difficult now, Jamie. You've kind of
Yes, I know. He's not a good one.
Yeah, you're right. Right, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay. And the last one is LR, and they're shipping off to war, like across the sea. They're going to war away, like far away, on a different. Yeah, just like LR.
So 2 LR.
Oh yeah, that's true. Look at that. Right, are you right? Should we write them down? I might write them down as well for people.
I've written them down. I take this very seriously.
Okay, Arnau, you got them all?
We have to answer next.
Yeah, next week. You two can answer. We're in the segment, and you could either write them down and then hold the paper up because I don't know if you two will cheat.
Okay.
Or just say it, and I trust you, but I don't know if I do because you both want to win. And then you two can have a competition amongst yourselves, and we can have the listeners coming up giving us the clues. All right, so that's it. That's the Grotbusters.
I like it. I like the new segment. I think it's cool.
Yeah, a little bit more interactive. And I'm going to come up with a new segment where you two are going to battle against each other, fastest to the buzzer, and it will be like, I need to think of it. I had a name earlier, which was but I've forgotten the name now.
we did one with Lionel that
That he
I
hated.
think no, it was actually pretty cool. I think it was with Lionel that one of his daughters
yes, that's true.
described
Yeah.
described a mini, and we had to guess
that's
what
amazing.
mini it was.
I came
And
up
that
with a
was
lot
actually
of
pretty
segments.
cool.
Yeah.
If you
That'd
could
be
do
great.
that with Poppy, for example, that would be
where she describes it. Yeah. She'd love that as well.
Yeah.
And then we play the audio back, basically, to the
Yeah,
listeners
exactly.
and to
Yeah.
you. And then
That's perfect.
And there was actually in the earlier days when we were more creative until we hit our Lionel was like, I fucking hate you all and I hate Warhammer. We were on we had a good creative, like season 1 was, I think, really, it was good stuff, right? We weren't just run of the mill. We were having fun. Lionel was smiling, he was still happy.
I started listening back to season 1.
Really? Do we sound happier?
To see if we seem invested.
Yeah, we were until it all went to shit. So yeah, I want to bring back these. I like these. These are the reason why I do the cast for these segments, right? I don't really care about the boring stuff, even though I've had 2 massive breakthroughs since we started. I'm already on episode 3. Well, that's it, boys. We've broken the 2-hour mark. If we stay on the call for another 5 minutes, so I don't think we should.
Probably not. How much?
2 hours, yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, crazy.
That's fun. Well, we started the call earlier, and then you were all jibber-jabbing. The bloody post.
That's true. How far down your list of subjects did you get?
We haven't done the release of G Cycle. We haven't done Dan. We haven't done Things I Hate. So it's 3.
That's fair.
And neither Rebel Moon.
And we haven't done Red Moon. But I'm fucking excited to talk about episode 7 that you've watched now, Martine. And Arnau can actually finish watching the bloody Rebel Moon. Or we just pretend we... Because I've not finished film 2. I didn't finish it. So
now you haven't finished it.
I finished it this morning because we were doing the podcast today.
And Arnau came out with a fucking, I haven't watched number 2. He's English. Yeah.
Should we watch number 2 or not?
Watch half of it, like I have. No.
Yes, watch number 2, definitely. If we're going to talk about because I was thinking I need to Google. Obviously, I should just look it up instead of talking about looking it up. But I'm curious if there's going to be a part 3.
He got
because this is one of those things that cruelly just has cliffhangers at every turn. It's like, well, next thing we need to.
I just can't. No, I can't get down. I don't want to go there yet. I've got so much to say on Rebel Moon, and it's not all negative.
Yeah, me neither, actually.
Yeah.
But wait. Why are you, either of you, desperate to talk about Rebel Moon? Is it
because it's literally been on the cards for a month? Like Arnau's.
But more because of negativity or positive?
It's just because it was something I watched Rebel Moon a while ago. Not too long ago. Maybe
we're gonna do Rebel Moon now. Then is that
no.
Right.
Well, this is just a tiny little.
Okay.
And then I thought, why would, because we were not finding things to talk about. We didn't know what to do the podcast about. Okay. And I watched the movie and I said, oh, this movie fits very well. Like it's a movie thing which we want to talk about. It has Warhammer related somehow.
Yeah.
So we should really talk about this.
I'm not going to respond
movie
to anything you're saying now because that's for next week. But this is good.
Good shout. Good. Well, thank you everyone for this illustrious episode. I'll see you boys in a minute when we hang up on the show and we talk outside of.
Nice.
Breaking the illusion. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, bye.
Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.